Hi everyone, I am so happy to be with you today. I am Joana Lacerda. I am a Portuguese former architect, which is now leading the impact department of the Powerhouse. As an architect, I always believe that art in general could be a tool for human rights and for protecting the people in the world. So currently I am super interested on how technology can actually enhance this role that art develops and plays in our lives. And at the Powerhouse, we are the European think tank for everything around smart textiles, fashion technologies. So I am leading the impact department and making sure that everything that we do has a meaning and that everyone is happy on the workplace, and at the same time that all of our projects that we develop to our clients and that we develop internally have a purpose and can make something good for humanity.
What does the connection between fashion and technology offer? What makes this connection unique? How did you get to connect these two fields?
So I think that it is quite obvious right now that technology is touching fashion in so much points. I think that with COVID, it is more than clear that in terms of the consumer perspective and also in terms of the market perspective, all these e-commerce platforms and so many other technology innovations are touching and changing the way we also consume fashion. But at the Powerhouse, we focus on the backbone, on so much more and things that are coming to the market very, very soon. And we are super happy to be part of this revolution. But basically, it is more on looking at how our clothes can do much more for what they were designed for, because looking at fashion as the only perspective of a second skin or as an art piece that brings some message from the designer itself or for the other ones who use it, it makes sense. But in a technology world, we need to look for much more, and we need to look for how the things we actually wear can do much more for our body, can tell us more about us, about the way how we feel, for instance. So as a technologist also, not only an architect, I am very excited to be working on technology enhanced textiles and electronic with textiles and all these like little sensors who are being included in clothes and in fabrics. It makes so much sense to think that we shouldn't have so much clothes, we shouldn't have so much uh, textiles on our bodies. We just simply use technology for the good. So I think that in this sense, the connection between technology and textiles and fashion is here to stay, is here to change our lives for the good, and the potential of it is immense. So I totally recommend you all to look at the big trends from the tech companies as well, because as you might know, Microsoft, Apple, and so many other giants are buying patents in the fashion world. So take a look at it.
How will this connection evolve in the future?
Well, I think I've said it a bit in the last question, but basically, this connection between technology and fashion, besides being here to stay, as I said, I think that in and what we can see it already, the evolution of fashion into the gaming industry, for instance, into the health system as well, like all this health tech, they are all touching fashion more or less. They are all working with textiles. They are all looking on how this technology and this merge between fashion and electronics can enhance our lives and the way our body behaves. So I think that in this sense, if we look for electronic devices and the wearables market, it is super positive, the growth that we are seeing right now. So imagine the future. But I think that the evolution of it is that more and more the way how we behave and the way how we dress ourselves will become digital. More and more we will understand that we don't need to buy much clothes as we are buying right now. We can only have one dress, and all these, like for instance, a mega trend, which is wearable displays, will enable us to change the color of our clothes just like by simply using an app that can turn it into the color according to our mood or the pattern that we want to download or to buy from that platform. And this is not talking about the future. This is something that is happening right now. And the big brands are looking at this kind of trends. So I think that in this sense, the merge between technology and fashion is kind of crazy when we look at like how the gaming industry is affecting it, how the avatars and the digital influencers are creating it, but it is a reality already. So let's keep an eye on that, because lots of opportunities also for fashion designers are here with all these NFTs and so many things.
How do you work with young designers? What opportunities does your company offer to young designers? How is this cooperation beneficial for your company?
So for us, it is not beneficial, but it is vital to work with young designers. In a past, we had something called the artists in residency, sorry, designers in residency, which was an art residency for young designers who were interested in learning more about technology and learn more about how technology can actually change their artworks. So basically what we did was like an emerging immersive bootcamp for designers to teach them how to work with machines, to work with electronics, how to experiment electronics and technology in their designs, and how these change their products. And the results were fantastic. All of them succeeded in the tech world, which is for us a proud. And basically, it is not only part of our mission, but it is something that we try to bring to real life and to practice every day, is to empower those who are young and want to learn more about technology and want to understand how to apply technology in their clothes. For us, it is also a way to learn what is there in the market, what are the innovations, what are these young designers thinking to do and aiming to do, because everything is possible. We just need to find a creative way to do it. And sometimes we find people which have so many skills that we don't, and these corporations just born in the middle of a workshop or a conversation. So for us it is also a way to learn, but also a way to empower. So it is part of our mission to change the creative industry sector. So it is by empowering people that we will generate change, for sure.
How necessary and beneficial is cooperation in your field?
I think that cooperation is vital. As I said before, we are very interested in hearing what the young designers have to say. And at the same time, I think that as fashion and technology are merging, lots of industries are coming at the same time. As I mentioned before, the gaming industry, for instance, we are right now, when we talk about fashion, you can have in the same room like a gaming geek, a coder, an architect, an artist, and a fashion designer, and they can all talk about the future of fashion. And this is something that excites us a lot, because we don't like to work in silos. So in this sense, we are always cooperating. And as a think tank, of course, for us, it is in our mission to hear more than one field, because we believe that, and I think it is proved already, that none industry is made out of just one skill or one name, right? So I think that right now, when we talk about fashion, and if we look like to the biggest fashion brands and to the biggest fashion startups, they are all techie. So for us, cooperation is vital. And I think that the young designers and the upcoming generations are so aware of that, that they are not only thinking about fashion anymore. No one is thinking in a vertical perspective. Everyone is looking at things in a much open way, which is for us a good thing, because when we started, it was quite difficult and hard to merge different worlds. And right now it is with a great enthusiasm that we can talk openly with techies, for instance, about fashion. So we are in the middle of a revolution for sure.
How do you perceive the connection between design and marketing? Do you have any personal experience with it? How do you connect those two spheres in your company?
Well, I am not working on the marketing department, and actually, I don't have any experience in marketing departments. But what I can say in my personal perspective here is that it is, and we are all working crossing our works inside the company. So I know a lot about what the marketing department is doing, but I am not designing that strategies. But what I can say, and for my personal perspective here, is that marketing is a very important tool, but in the fashion and technology system, our marketing is more about the performance that what we invent has, and the impact that it really has. For instance, we are developing some reports, and the reports, they are not paid, so they are not a product that we sell. They are just a way to give back something to the community. And this is actually one of our biggest marketing strategies and moves for a long time, and the results are fantastic. So basically, what we do is to bring together the community, is to bring together people to discuss very important topics. And at the same time, we are not only bringing these people together and connecting different worlds, but we are at the same time empowering those who read it. And from that, the outcomes are fantastic. So, in my perspective, I think that it is not about marketing plus design, it is marketing plus impact. And I think that in this sense, these tools of bringing people together for a marketing move is much more an impact of it. It's much huge than actually the products itself. I think that the what is behind is more impactful for sure. Much huge than actually the products itself. I think that the what is behind is more impactful for sure.
How do you perceive the connection between technology, design, and marketing? Is there still another area of cooperation that you think is necessary? Which areas of cooperation are worth developing?
Well, I think that technology, design, and marketing, they are all connected right now. Technology is doing that, right? So we cannot, or at least like we can, but the big brands are not designing without technology. The big marketeers and like all marketing departments, they are not doing it alone without technology. So I think that in this sense, it is not talking about like different silos, but they are all together, they are all connected. And I think that also in a way that like we are using technology not only to design but to marketeer. But I think that one of the most important parts here, and that is not included in this question, but I will totally say that the area of cooperation that should and is worth to develop is the industrial side. Uh, we know that like all these advanced manufacturing technologies are being developed and are kind of hype right now, and it is a hot topic. But we need to invest more technology in the industry. We need to put the industry talking with designers, with marketeers. I think that there is still a kind of a parallel world where the industry seems to be very classical, but it is not, and we know that it's not. But at the same time, it is like where the both worlds, they don't live without each other, but they don't speak the same language anymore. So I think that it is very, very important to bring manufacturing and industry into this conversation and understand how these can actually change. the part of the design, the part of the marketeers, the work of all of them together, because we have saw that, and we worked in a very, very specific projects where we brought the industry together with technologists, and we understood the power of the knowledge of the people behind the industry and behind the manufacturing solutions, and the power of the inventions of the technologists. And here you see the true innovation happening. So I think that we need to talk more about the industry side for sure.
What coaching methods do you use most often?
So it is also a very important of our work in our company to perform mentoring sessions and coaching methodologies. So we perform and we facilitate workshops. We do like mentoring for instance, the Starts in Motion program, which is a EU-funded project. So in this sense, what we and our perspective as the company and as mentors as well, the perspective here is not about saying the right things for the mentees, but to enable us to enable them, sorry, to make the right questions and to understand what are the right questions. Because once you empower someone to understand what are the right questions, they can run alone, and they can do it as a lifelong thing for their creative processes and how to turn an idea into a successful businesses. So while coaching, we usually perform a very, very open and open way of teaching, and always from the perspective of empowering, of bringing the right technologies, of bringing the right knowledge, of making the right connections. And bridge making is also a very important part of our work. So connecting our network with those who have the talent and the power to make things happen.
What books do you recommend for developing creativity?
So I will recommend you two very important books for me. At least these two books, they changed my life and empowered me as well. So I believe, and I totally recommend you to find these books. You can find it like in the Kindle and all these platforms. So it is not going to be hard for you to find. The first one is Thinking Fast and Slow from Daniel Kahneman. It is a very, very important book to make us understand the way we think and the way we make choices. This means that once, as a designer, you understand how people think, how people choose what they choose and why, you will be able to develop more accurate and more feasible products and projects. So I totally, totally recommend you that. And the second one is Find Your Why from Simon Sinek. It is a fantastic book. It is very, very practical. And I think that it is not a book that this type of book that you read once. No, you will read it through your life. And I totally, totally recommend you to read it.
What is your source of motivation and inspiration? What gives you energy?
I think that what gives me energy is to knowing and to understanding why am I doing what I am doing. And this is something that I am always telling to my team. If I don't understand the why behind things, if you suggest something, but you just don't know why you want to make it happen, please don't talk about it. Think about the why first. So I think that this is what keeps me motivated, is to know exactly why am I doing things, and that the work that I am developing will have an impact and will actually change things for the good. So this is my source of inspiration and motivation. But also as a source, and talking about inspiration, it is for me an honor to work with a female only team. I know it is like very mainstream right now, but and I am not a feminist. I really believe um, into the balance of things, but working with such fantastic women is a power for me, and it is also a pleasure to see so many powerful female entrepreneurs coming into the fashion tech market right now. Also geeks and coders. There are so many power right now in the world, and I am so happy about that. So it is, of course, a source of inspiration.
What would you like to say to young designers?
Well, I think that my best advice, as I always say in my mentoring sessions, is for you to look at your Northern Star, to know exactly why you started, to know exactly why you are here hearing me, and why you are here in this design week. So to not forget why you started this, because there is a meaning. There is a meaning, and this meaning is always present in all the things that you develop in your life, and like all your creativity. It comes from somewhere, and it is a very hard path and journey to find it sometimes, especially when you work with a team. So it is not about finding one why, but like finding the collective why, which is made out of individual whys. So I think that it is the best advice that I can tell you is go home and think why you started this, why you are here, and where do you want to go, and make it like as your northern star, because sometimes you get lost, sometimes you start to doubt about yourself or about what you are doing, and look at things that other people make and think, oh, why, wow, it looks like a fantastic idea, but the why is what makes you unique. So I think that this is like the most powerful tool that we have as individuals, as creatives as well. So this is my best advice for you. I wish you all the luck for each one of you, and I am here for everything you need. So reach out if you have any questions, if you need some support. I will be super happy to help you all. Thank you so much.